I got kids, so I know what a rest bath look like. Someday, like, look, we gotta get you. Let's make this quick. You know, let's make this quick. I got shit to do. You wash behind your ears and then you can't tell nobody.
Jeremy
like,
bathing me extra fast today. What's going on?
Oh, I know what this is. What up, what up, what up, what up? It's Three Brothers No Sense. I'm Tavares Ferguson, a.k.a. Ferg. Join my co-host, Buff and Razi. Fellas, tell them what's on your mind.
I know Lizzo ain't body shaming nobody.
We ain't gonna do that.
And that no, that's the accusation. And I'm on Lizzo's side. Okay? I believe her. Because there's no way that Lizzo is body shaming.
Why do you say that, Buff?
Because it would be like me making fun of somebody that's bald or short. It's not happening. It's just not happening. So I'm on her side. The allegations are pretty wild, from asking her dancers to eat a banana out of a performer's vagina. And also but on a serious note, the body shaming, from what I read, because I like kind of a speed read it, even the body shaming charge is kind of like the accuser is saying that Lizzo said, you don't seem as dedicated to this job as you need to be. And the dancer took it as her criticizing her recent weight gain. Like, to me, in a court of law, I think you need a little more than that. That's a little too broad, too veiled.
Yeah, a lot of the accusations, or some of the accusations, seem like they're, when I read it, it's not a stretch, but it's kind of like, it's not cut and dry. I don't know how you work around eating a banana out of somebody's vagina. I don't know how you spin that.
What was the other one? The other one, the girl peed on herself because she was scared to go to the bathroom, and they made her wear no panties and clear pants. Yeah. Like that one. Deal.
Oh no, that if you create a toxic enough work environment where people are scared to lose their job, I think, because a lot of people were saying, well, why would they go through that? And think about the average person with the BS they go through in their job, because they don't want to lose their job. And in this industry, especially being a dancer, it's hard to break into dancing, especially as a plus size dancer. There's not a lot of room, so it's like, this is the only show, this is the only ticket, and to be part of this Lizzo, wave is huge for them.
And when I say I know Lizzo isn't body shaming, yes, the implied joke is that I'm standing on that. But also, like, she's been such a huge proponent of being
body positivity and all that.
It's like such the complete opposite of what she has so-called stood for. So I don't want to like just automatically take the celebrity side and say there's no way. It's just, I think for most people that is kind of hard to believe. I have my complaints about Lizzo. They don't need to be stated here, but these accusations do seem hard to believe. So we got that, and then we have another celebrity son, Torey Lanz. He got 10 years for shooting.
He's a convict now.
Yeah, and again, we talked about this before. I'm just amazed at how many people are caping. Like, he's like R. Kelly. I understood. Bill Cosby, I understood. Those are huge celebrities. People have love for them. I can't name two Torey Lanz songs. I can't name one Torey Lanz song. So to see people defend him like that, I just was like wow. Like people went so far as to say she never was shot. Like, there is video. First off, people heard gunshots in that neighborhood. They called the police. There's video of her. You see blood leaking from her feet. So what do they think that was?
Yeah. And that's what, she didn't even press charges, and people are still blaming her. Like, she essentially had nothing to do with any of this. She didn't call the cops. She didn't press charges. She didn't testify against them. Like, it literally was, I made my statement to the cops, told them what happened, and that was about it. And all of a sudden, it's her fault for him going to jail.
Yeah. And it's always crazy because people idolize celebrities and put them on this pedestal. And I always think about, if that was your daughter, your sister, your cousin, people ready to ride.
And that's the funny thing about it. People will be ready to ride. They'll go out and they'll shoot Torey Lanz or do something to him. And everybody be like, well, that made sense, right? You shot my sister. Right. I go out and I shoot you. But
protecting
if he goes but if he goes to jail, for some reason, it's the system against him. Like, I don't get it. We want to take it into our own hands instead of just letting the system do what it was actually designed to do.
Yeah. So that's all I got. It just was kind of strange looking at the wild accusations. Like, when he was first found guilty, they was blaming Jay-Z and the Illuminati and Rockefeller. So it's just, how about, and once again, you know, as a short man who is friends with a lot of fellow short guys, we have bad tempers at times, and that's the stereotype on us. And he took us a step back. He took us a huge step back, man. So, you know, it like, people trying to blame her. How about blame the person that shot her?
Even if it was a mistake, not like he accidentally shot her. Even if it was just like, you know, he lost his temper. You know, things happen. People make mistakes, and I'm a firm believer that people should pay the consequences.
He did himself no favors. Like, all of his actions after, like, he probably wouldn't have got anywhere near 10 years. And the judge cited that, like, his lack of remorse and trying to shut her up and bully her and intimidate her is all what led to this sentence.
Yeah, if he had been, like you said, remorseful, like, oh, I'm sorry, it was an accident, I wasn't trying to shoot her, maybe he would have got, like, you know, an attempted murder or something like that. I mean, I don't know, man. But yeah, he needed to do something different.
And if he wanted to maintain that he didn't shoot her, he could have just shut the hell up. Like, even if you're saying, well, he feels like he didn't shoot her, and we believe him that he wasn't the one that shot her. Okay, he could have shut up. But he kept talking and kept trying to, like, spin the story. So that's on him too.
Yep. Speaking of spinning stories, I don't know if you guys have heard, Wayne Brady has come out as pansexual. For those who don't know what pansexual means, it means that you will smash anything, basically. So, you know, trans people, men, women, whatever. You just like, hey, I'm down for whatever. So, not a surprise, I don't think, to anybody in the world, but he made it official now, and he's out as pansexual.
So you're like a sex buffet, huh?
Sex buffet.
So, I want to say happy Left-Handers Day to all the left-handers out there. It is officially Left-Handers Day today. We're recording on Sunday, August 13th, and so, you know, it's our day. Whoop, whoop, yay. To the left-handers out there.
So are there, like, any cakes, plates, or is there anything special you do on Left-Handers Day?
No, other than maybe write the other way so that you don't get ink on your hand. I don't know, but it's our day. So we're just going to take it.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
You know,
Appreciate that.
So lefties matter.
Yeah. Left-handed matter. Speaking of famous left-handers, I think Beyonce's left-handed. But Beyonce, we talked about The Weeknd having the highest grossing black performing artist tour, and Beyonce just passed him. So the Beehive, y'all can get off our back. We did have a couple folks talk about that after, like, Beyonce's gonna kill him, yay! But she did. And her tour's not even over yet. I think she has like 5 or 6 more cities. She's already beaten him. So she is definitely going to get that title and probably hold it for a good long time after this.
Yeah, I haven't seen a buzz about a tour like that. Outside of, what's her name? Like, Taylor Swift, that's it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, like, this is ridiculous because Beyonce has been shutting cities down. Like, everybody named Mama It's
and multiple days. That a lot of times on tours you get one day with that artist. She's going to cities and doing 2-3 days a lot of times. So it's a very different tour than, you know, some of the other tours where you see they're going to a city 2-3 days later, they're in a different city and they hit 10 cities and that's it. Like she's doing, I want to say it's 15-16 cities total, and she's doing multiple days in each one of those cities. So it's a much bigger tour, and that's essentially how they get to break these records, is that they don't have to go to as many cities and they can do multiple actual performances in each city
all over the world to see this young lady.
Yeah.
And hats off to her. Speaking to hats off, what about Montgomery, Alabama?
Gumptown stand up, man. I'm so proud of y'all.
Yeah, we talked about it. It was breaking when we recorded last, so we brought it up, but we didn't get a chance to really talk about it. I thought we did. Didn't Byron talk about it?
No, I was in Mexico.
This is the first time we mentioned, because we recorded early in the week.
Oh no, that was that was Trump getting indicted the last time.
Yeah.
It was breaking.
Yeah. Here's how it happened for me. Like I said, I was in Mexico, so I was checking my social media feed periodically. You were in Disney, sir, so don't do that. But the first comment I saw was Montgomery took "Have a Seat" to a whole different level. I didn't know what the hell she was talking about, so I kept scrolling, and then somebody else said something about it, and so then I saw the video, and I'm like, "Well, what's this?" I thought it was a comedy skit. Especially when I saw the brother swimming, I was like, "What the hell is this?" They had the original user that I saw. They had the arrow pointing at the brother swimming, Aquaman, as we calling him. He was swimming across. I was like, "What is going on?" But as more information came in, I tell you, I could not get enough of it. I watched every angle. I looked at every meme, every joke. Usually something happens and we run it in the ground and we wear it out. That wasn't the case with this. I couldn't get enough. I was scrolling my feed I need more. It was hilarious. Each different angle, you saw something different, something funny. It was crazy, man. I'm proud of my city. I know we're not supposed to champion violence, but that brother was doing his job. They've had issues with that family before. And they tried to jump him. It was one-on-one at first. And then they jumped him and people came and helped him out. And I am all for that. And I am happy with the action that people took. Some people kind of cringed at the brother swinging the chair. Hey, when you're in a fight and your blood pressure's up and you're in the thrall of it, you're not thinking clearly, you know what I'm saying? And shout out to the women. Shout out to the women who was helping the men out. The women saw some of the other women trying to sneak shots in, and those black women said, "Not on my watch. No, sir. No, sir." So they joined in. It was crazy. One of them was a complete coward. I mentioned it on my social media feed. He waited. He was on the boat. He waited till everybody's back was turned. He tried to jump off the boat and rushed the brothers from behind. They turned around and saw him. He immediately started backing up to the point to where he dove back in the water. That's some coward right there. So
no, he was the smartest person on that boat. So
he should have just stayed on the boat in the beginning.
I was one of those kids growing up. When I saw my cousins get in trouble and to get a whooping, I was like, you know what? It's not worth it. I'm just... Lesson learned. Thank you, Byron. We have learned what we needed to learn. But no, I was same as you. I think I saw it a little late because the memes and posts were starting to come up. And when I saw the video, I was angry at first because I didn't know what to expect. I just thought it was going to be a typical video of some, elderly black man being assaulted, attacked, jumped. Like, I just thought this was going to end all bad. Like, my blood was already boiling. Like, to the point, like, I was already about to turn it off because I just didn't want to see it. Like, man, I don't want to see this shit. Like, this is freaking stupid. Then I'm like, hold on. The arrow.
Mm-hmm. The
arrow is what caught me. Get ready to turn it off, and it's like, is that somebody swimming? Like, is that somebody swimming? And so I thought that was going to be the end. And it just kept happening. Like, people just kept coming out of the woodwork. And when that boat docked, Lord help them. And then all the different angles. Now, I'm going to let you guys finish. I'm sure Razi has something to say. I'm going to tell you my favorite moment about it that most people don't consider. Razi, what you got for us? Anything to say?
For me, I want to shout out. We talk about representation and black police officers and everything. That would have went totally different had those black police officers not been there. The black police officers came, they listened to the people that was happening. They arrested and they detained a lot of people, right? But they actually arrested the white people there. I 100% wholeheartedly think if it had been all white officers, that would have went totally different. The white tears happened. The white woman was trying to say that, they got attacked or whatever. And then the lady that was recording started saying no. They started attacking the security guard guy. And that's when everybody came in and tried to help him. And people like the police officers actually listened. Montgomery PD, they came and they actually indicted and they actually arrested the perpetrators in this situation. I think they're still looking for the guy with the chair. They told him to call. I don't know if he actually called them or not.
He turned himself in and he's been released. Yeah.
Okay, good. So they even released him. So ultimately, man, I am happy with the outcomes of it, not just the fight. The fight was entertaining, but I'm really happy with being holding the folks that actually started this thing accountable. And I don't think that would have happened had it been an all-white police force.
Yeah, I really like the police. I mean, just seeing them, they almost just let them tire themselves out. Like, they didn't rush in there, were super aggressive. They only really got aggressive after Buddy hit the lady with the chair. And in my mind, it was kind of like, come on, man. Like, it was just, now I got to do my job. Like, I have to address this now. So what my favorite thing, I'm always thinking outside the box. So I'm thinking of what's happening outside of the camera's view. So you had Buddy jump off the boat to swim, right? We had Aquaman. I call him Scuba Gooding Jr. is one of our favorites. So he was a swimmer. Think about all the non-swimmers. Could you imagine that boat as it's trying to dock? Do you know the conversations and the hype that was going on as they were docking, getting ready to get off? That had to be the funniest, on God conversations. On God, when this boat land, I'm taking out 3-4 white people. Like, the conversations that they were having, prepping up. Like, you could have been just sitting down, coming out the bathroom, and you didn't even know what was going on. But by the time the boat docked, you were full-fledged, shirt off, ready, because somebody got you hyped. They hyped each other up for like 5 minutes. And when the boat docked, all hell broke loose. I would have loved somebody to video that, because that's where the talking behind the scenes is probably the funniest part. That's what I wanted to see, dog. Like, I promise, I own everything, dog. When this boat land, I don't like them no way. Like, that's where the comedy was at.
Mm-hmm.
What else y'all got on that?
I still don't know where the chair came from. Like,
off the boat.
Where? It's probably the security guard's chair. That's probably what he sits in when he's just sitting there on the dock.
He's not a security guard. He is like a first mate or something. He works on the boat. So if you I've read versions of the story where somebody came and got him off the boat to go talk to them. Like, they had to come, like, bring another boat to come say, hey, let me come talk to y'all. Like, y'all ain't gonna move.
The way he flung his hat, like, Like,
it's like, man,
people calling that the bat signal right there.
Yeah. No cap.
I mean, he threw it with so much force, like.
Because I think at this point, if this would have been a Dave Chappelle skit, there would have been a pause. At this point, first mate Tyrone knew it was about to go down, and hat toss, and I was like, "Oh Lord!"
And by the way, people, make sure you watch all the angles, because I know some people are saying that he swam, the brother swam over there, and then he didn't do anything once he got there.
No, he was.
If you watch one angle, he did stand there at first, but no, he got it in. If you watch more angles and watch more time on the tape, he got it in. He body slammed one person like he got it in, man. So I'm just proud.
I haven't seen this much black unity from like a post since. Well, this was universal. Queen Elizabeth. Black Twitter was ablaze after that, but it was just one of those things where it was. I mean, I was walking in hospitals, and you can sense like little groups with black cuddles, people talking, and you overhear them like, "I wish that would have been me." And on multiple occasions, I walked over like, "Y'all talking about Alabama, ain't it?"
So there have been several names for August 5th, because it's going to be a holiday. Because in addition to that, it's the same day that Jennifer Aniston caused a little ruckus over Jamie Foxx's post that was supposedly anti-Semitic, and Black Twitter came for her like, "You don't know what the F you're talking about." He wasn't even talking. It had nothing to do with Jews or anything like that. So it's definitely, I've seen like fade in the water. It's quite a few. So August 5th is a black holiday, and I would be frying fish or grilling.
I like Cinco de Negro. That's kind of one of
that's one of them. Yeah.
That's so, man, it is definitely going down, and I just would hate to be that person. One of my, like, I never want to be a meme, but like, imagine those people are going to be memed for the rest of their life. They're going to just that's going to go down like in history, like you were part of it. And Black Twitter wasted no time. They were putting the store owner's business up there. The one was a teacher, all kind of stuff. It's like, you want to play stupid games?
Bad look for Crocs too. Like Crocs. What happened, man? Because those jokes, they are not built for fighting.
Man, them Crocs slid up his. Dog. So that's horrible, dude. Like, you're that guy. Yeah. You can't even say you were holding your own, nothing. Just like that. They beat you into your Crocs, not out of your shoes. Like, the Crocs would have came out, that was different. Like, your shoes swallowed you whole, both of them. Yeah. All right, fellas, let's go ahead and jump into it. Is Sophie here today, Razi?
We got her today, man. We got her today. So hold on, let me grab her.
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
So good, so good, so good.
Get ready, because it's time to save at your Nordstrom Rack store. Now through February 23rd, take an extra 40% off red tag clearance boots, jackets, and sweaters. We're talking the best cold weather styles from Vince, Cole Haan, Sam Edelman, and more. All on sale for even less. All sales final. You never know what you'll find, but you know it's gonna be so good. Great brands, great prices. That's why you rack.
Hello, Sophia.
Hello.
How's it going? How does it feel to be the big 9?
I'm 10.
Yeah. So, Sophie, we've been doing this for the last 9 years.
Every year.
We do this every year. Like, I don't understand why this is so hard. Like,
every year.
You look. I know you want to be more mature and you look older for your age, but we all know that you're 9.
I'm gonna find my birth certificate. I'm gonna show it to you one year.
It's photoshopped. You can Photoshop those things these days, you know.
Little white out here and there.
Little white out. Yeah, some AI chat, you know.
No, I want to try to take them straight out of here.
I'm just
Everyone
saying.
can see it.
Is your hair now pink? Oh.
Got buns.
Yeah. You got rough and stuff with your Afro puffs.
He did.
So, do you have a good joke for us today?
Yes.
And you're wearing glasses again. What happened? Hold on. What's going on?
I don't have to. I get to wear them. I get to wear my glasses once a week, and I decided this would be the day.
Okay.
I also did this yesterday.
That was yesterday's once a week, huh? Or last week's once a week?
Yeah.
I
didn't do it last week.
Back to back. Okay.
Yes.
Cheat code. All right. You got a good joke for us? I'm ready. I feel like I know the answer. 6.
No, you don't. That's
Answer
not
6.
the answer. It's not a math problem.
Okay, 42.
Again, it's not a math problem. But
All right.
why do nurses like red crayons so much?
Red crayons.
You don't know it either. Think. They didn't tell my dad either. He usually doesn't get to figure it out. Because they draw blood sometimes.
That's not bad. That's pretty good.
Red crayons are
That's pretty good right there.
Good one.
I'm impressed.
Oh, man.
I'm impressed.
Damn.
Yeah.
I don't know where she
that
be
was a good
finding
one.
these. That was a good one. Yeah.
That was a good one. Yeah, that was. Yeah. Yeah, that was a good one. So, let's go ahead and jump into it. So, Three Brothers No Sense, your favorite barbershop style podcast. Time of the show where we do the questions. When you hear the questions, we hear the questions. So, who wants to go first?
I can go. Or you want to go both?
I can.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I can. Contentville, what up? So we talked about this topic quite a bit. So my question for you guys: these two minorities we talk about the most are the black people and women. Do black people and women, do we want equality, or do we just want equal outcome?
I'm trying to figure out, what do you mean by that?
Yeah,
like,
because how do you prove equality other than equal outcome?
So, you're saying like equity? Like, where equity is more like, I would think, equal outcome, but it's not necessarily equal resources. Like, you might have to help other people to, if you want everybody to, let's say, get an A in the class. Byron is already great at math. He doesn't need any help, but Razi and Tavares need tutors. And Ferg probably actually needs to stay out of school after school 2 days instead of Razi's 1. And we're going to give everybody the right resources to get an A.
So we briefly talked about just lost my mind. Affirmative action. Mm-hmm. And Razi, broke down how what the Supreme Court did. They didn't really you broke down what affirmative action really is. And in a lot of people's mind, it is affirmative action is forcing, schools, employees and stuff to hire an equal amount of black people. Is that what we want? Do we want the outcome to be equal representation in all of these different entities, or do we just want equal opportunities? Because just because you get equal opportunities doesn't mean you're going to get equal outcomes. And if you don't ever get those equal outcomes, are those minorities going to ever be satisfied? Women and black people.
And so that's what I thought you were saying. Because to me, and I might still be off, that's the debate that I hear so much is like equality versus equity, right? It's like, it's the, you can give us all this, but if I'm already here, that resource doesn't do the same thing for me. And I was actually explaining this to Skylar the other day. So,
nice.
I think we don't know I think the average person doesn't recognize there's a difference on both sides. So I think the end goal is to have equal outcome, But the problem is people don't recognize that it's going to take different things to get there. So women's rights. It's like we asked this question a few weeks ago about like, or do we consider ourselves feminists? And I'm like, yeah, I'm a very much a feminist, but I'm the feminist that a lot of feminists don't want to talk, because I want equity across the board. But I understand because of his history, there's going to be some help or additional resources needed to get women to the point where it's equal. Same thing with, blacks. It's going to take more to get us there, where our financial, or what all the things that we're being measured on, finances, to get those things there, it's going to take a lot. The problem is we'll never get there because nobody really wants to give. Everybody has their hand out anyway. Like, if we're going to give all black people reparations, white people don't want something too. And that's just, so to me, that's the sad thing. I don't think it'll ever happen, because when you do something for one person, the other person, especially if they don't feel like they're the cause of it, or directly the cause of it, they're gonna want something too. But I don't think we're aware enough that we need the resources, we need the help to get to that end game, which is equal outcome.
Yeah, I think ultimately we, like you said, we want equal outcomes, right? We want, hey, 17% of the population is black, whatever the number is. I think it's somewhere around there, 17, 20, whatever, right? 17% of the population is black. I want 17% of senior executives in organizations to be black. I want 17% of the population in movies to be black. I want you want equal representation. You want equal outcomes for everything, right? 17% of doctors be black, 17% of whatever, 50% of doctors are women. I want 50% of, these types of jobs to be women, because that's the population, whatever. I think they're a little bit higher than men, actually. But that's what we want, right? Ultimately. The problem, I think, like you talked about, Ferg, is the majority has given up that they can't just 100% discriminate, right? All right, we can't discriminate. We can't not give you stuff. So they're leaning on equality to say, well, we'll give you equal access to everything, even though those, historically marginalized populations are starting way, way behind from generational wealth and everything else. So equal doesn't help them to actually create the equal outcomes on the back end. Yeah. And to kind of what you're talking about, Ferg, right? The equality piece of it is, hey, I've got to give additional resources, additional support, and additional things to the marginalized people to get them back up so that we can have equal outcomes sometime in the future. And that's the fight. Nobody wants that. They don't want to give those additional resources. Alabama, that's exactly what the Supreme Court did, right? They were like, well, no, you can't use race for admissions. So again, equality equity isn't a thing. It's all about equality. You just got to be equal in whatever you do. And so what you do is you maintain the status quo by doing equal access. Okay, if only 17% of the population is black, and we've only got 5% of senior executives, by having equality, what you end up with is continuing 5% of blacks being in that senior leadership role, instead of equity, where we do have some type of affirmative action, where we do have some type of Rooney Rule, we do have some type of way to get them up to where they are actually at that 17% of whatever their population is. That's what I think we have an issue with. I've got a personal anecdote about this with the scholarships that I've developed, right? So I've endowed 2 different scholarships, one at UAB, one at University of Alabama. And in both of those situations, I guess it's generally the same anyway, because they both go to the same board of trustees. But in both of those situations here in Alabama, you can't actually You can't put, I want this to go to a black person. You can't even say I want it to go to a black male because they won't let you put male in any type of scholarship stuff. It can't just be earmarked for a male. So like we have to find ways around that. But that's the problem with that equality versus equity. They want equality. They want a scholarship to be able to go to anybody, right? Instead of saying, no, this scholarship is for this marginalized group and I'm specifically earmarking it for this marginalized group. They won't allow us to do that when we endow it under the system. So that's the problem with a lot of this stuff that's happening right now. They're leaning into equity instead of, or equality instead of equity.
Because the defense is people misuse the equality the same way you want to have a scholarship for minority female or woman. For them, what if I want a scholarship just for white males? Mm-hmm. And so,
well, they're not historically marginalized though, and that's the thing.
It's equality,
and exactly.
And so we have white men who are like, "Well, I struggle. I'm first generation college student. Why can't somebody give me a scholarship that's just for me or people who look like me?" And to eliminate all that, we're just going to take it away. We're not going to allow anybody to say this just to give scholarships to white men. But at the same time, if we do that for white men and they're discriminated against because they're using that word a lot more, then you can't do it for the minority groups. You can't. Protected groups aren't being protected anymore.
That's it. Yep.
I just want to say we are more like 12 to 13% of the population. Yeah. I think, especially with the two groups that I mentioned, women and black people, I think both groups, and I can especially I can speak more for black people than I can for women, but I think they would agree. I think we both want, equal opportunity, but it's hard for us to trust that equal outcome because of how historically sexist and racist this country has been. So even if, you're giving just as many black people consideration as you are white people, if the outcome heavily favors white people, we're going to always say, it isn't true equality. And I think that's what this country has against it. Like, you can never trust it until we have an equal outcome. We're always going to question the process of it. And Ferg, you said something interesting too. You said if black people get some type of reparations, white people will have a problem with it. Is it because it's black people? Because we've had other forms of reparation with Japanese Americans, I think Jewish people as well. Is it just because it's black people getting something that white people...
And it's so popular. It would be... Everything else was kind of swept up under the rug. Yeah. They
were very, very small populations too. You got to think the Jewish population, those affected, especially when you talk about Japanese Americans and stuff like that. You're talking about less than 1% of the population,
and still in lifetimes. So like, a lot of those people that these things were happening to were still alive, right? Or they're one generation removed. You can say my grandmother, my mom, like us. We're talking about hundreds of years ago, and it's like they never forget. It's like the same with it. They're literally telling us to forget slavery. Like that, literally now the country, mainly like Florida, is pushing back, trying to change the narrative on slavery. So you think that there's not going to be pushback on reparations? Why else would you give reparations? Unless they say they're doing back pay to these unpaid interns. I think it would be admitting to America's greatest, atrocity. Yeah. And people don't want to admit to it. It's hard to accept. Nobody really, because I don't think the average person wants to be evil or consider themselves evil, even if they do evil shit.
Correct.
And when you do this, it's admitting to the world and myself that I'm part of this system that just screwed over just generations of people, and to this day continues to screw over people. You talk about equity. We're talking about the good. We're talking about the good stuff. I want only 17 of the prisons to be filled with 13 or 14% of blacks. You know, like the good stuff and the bad stuff. Like, if that was the case, when you have black and brown people making up what, probably 50-60%, if not more, of the penal system, but they're only a small percentage of the country, why are minorities going to jail more? We don't want to fix that problem. Mm-hmm. You go in and it's like, you know what? We need to put more white people in jail to represent the true nature of the country. Yeah, that's not going to work.
Yeah. And I'm looking at the 2022 census data. 13.6% black or African, 19.1% Hispanic or Latino for it. And let me see.
Japanese.
Oh yeah, Japanese is or Asian heritage is 6%. They don't have it. But Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander is 0.3, and then 2 or more races is 3%. Female is 50.4. So male female is right at 50% right now.
That's what I thought. I tell people, like, the world's probably 50-50, you know, men and women. Like, it's
fairly philosophical first question, man. Who's bringing in some fun?
More rewards, more savings. With American Express Business Gold, earn up to $395 back in annual statement credits on eligible purchases at select shipping, food delivery, and retail subscription merchants. Enjoy the benefits of membership with the Amex Business Gold Card. Terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-gold. Amex Business Gold Card. Built for business by American Express.
This episode is brought to you by Nerds Gummy Clusters, the sweet treat that always elevates the vibe. With a sweet gummy surrounded with tangy, crunchy nerds, every bite of Nerds Gummy Clusters brings you a whole new world of flavor. Whether it's game night, on the way to a concert, or kicking back with your crew, unleash your senses with Nerds Gummy Clusters.
I will. So I don't know if this is gonna be fun or not. Because you guys have already said that you don't want your wives to remarry if something happened to you or anything like that. So this is even a funnier question for you. So ran across a post where lady has a new boo, and the new boo helps take care of her husband who had a TBI. So he had a traumatic brain injury, can't feed himself, can't do anything basically, right? He's like a living vegetable pretty much. And he can generally like move a little bit in a wheelchair, move the wheelchair type thing, but they still have to feed him, change his clothes, all that stuff. And so she has moved on, got her a new man, and new man helps with the husband with changing them, feeding them, and everything like that. So 2-part question to you gentlemen. One is, if you got single one day, could you help new boo and her husband with her husband and anything? And if you had a TBI and couldn't do anything for your wife, and she's just having to kind of lift that load all by herself, would you be okay with her moving on and letting new boo change your diapers?
Your question sometimes. I don't.
This is a real life situation. I just want you guys to. I
don't know where to begin. I do want to throw a stat out there that statistically, men leave their wives more at a higher percentage than women leave their husband when they have a TBI or anything close to that. Women have shown that they're better caregivers in that regard. No, I'm not helping new boo with her husband. I'm good on that. I'm gonna pass on that. I don't know how I come to this answer, because I did famously say I don't want my wife to remarry if I die. But if something like that happened to me, I almost want to lean towards, I think it's because I don't want to be a burden on anybody. The thought of me being a burden on somebody just, I can't stand it. And I would rather her divorce me or whatever the case may be and move on. That answer I know makes no sense to the listeners. Like, why are you okay with her moving on in that scenario, but if you die, she can't move on? I don't know. That's my logic. And I'm sticking with it. Because if I die, she needs to mourn me. Mourn me, have my picture by the bed, cry at least 4 times a week over me. But in that situation, man, no, seriously, I just don't like the thought of being a burden on someone. I've never liked the thought of that. So if, she's done the best she can and it just becomes too much for her and she needs to move on, I think I would be okay with it, especially if I have a traumatic brain injury. Like, I don't even know, like, do I even have the feelings to be hurt by that? I mean, I don't know.
I think so. I mean, you can still, it depends on how bad it is, right? I mean, you can still, a lot of times you can still mentally think and communicate very shortly, right? You might not be able to have full sentences and stuff, but you can still communicate those types of things. It's more so motor skills a lot of times that you lose. So it just really depends. I mean, are you a vegetable versus, like I said, just you can't, motor skills wise, you can't move. So I think there's always that spectrum there.
Yeah. What a question, though. What a question.
Okay. So the answer to the first question is no. I can be there messing with another man's wife. I do respect the sanctity of marriage. They're still married, right? In this case, they're still married, and
technically yes, but if he's I guess sickness and health, right? So sickness, they're in sickness right now. So yes.
That's what said technically.
So no, I don't support it. And then for me, I don't like your logic, Byron. More me, deal with me, sickness and health, all that good stuff. Because what I don't want is Care Bay over here. Yeah, he changing my diapers and all. But this nigga in the next room knocking your wife down.
Oh, no. I don't want them to take care of me. That's why I said divorce me.
That's what I'm saying.
And move on.
No. I don't
want to be in the house.
I need her to be miserable, just like me.
Yeah, what you not going to do is help me bathe and put me to bed. And then go fold my wife up.
I got kids, so I know what a rush bath look like someday. Like, look, we have to get you. Let's make this quick. Let's make this quick. I got shit to do. He watch behind your ears and then you can't tell nobody.
Jeremy like, bathing me extra fast today. What's going on?
Oh, I know what this is. Oh, yeah, Stennis, you almost done?
I'm ringing my bell and interrupting them every chance I get.
No.
Yeah, I can't be in the house now. No, sir.
Do the sensible thing and kill me eventually. Kill me slowly. No.
Oh man,
absolutely not. You Byron, you're a better man than me. Because you don't want to. I don't want to be a burden, but I'm still selfish while I'm alive. You need to be about me. You need to be trying to find new cures, all kind of stuff. I don't need you out here living your best life. Nigga, we in a bad situation.
So can she ever go out? Can she ever go out and hang with her friends?
Yeah.
Because you're going to be thinking that. Yeah. She out there
taking care of me.
She out there getting folded up. That's
you get a little sitter, the little nurse, house nurse to sit you or whatever. And she go out with her friends. She's probably gonna bang that dude that she met on Tinder that night. Like,
and so well, thank you. Now she can't go out.
Sorry, Z.
Oh man.
Yeah, no. It's all about me, for better or for worse.
Oh man. So for me, I'm agree with you, brothers. I don't think I could do the whole take care of Bay's husband or whatever. And I say technically because I do think at a certain point the marriage kind of dissolves when there's like nothing else there. Like she literally is just taking care of him.
Well, that's on her side. What about me? I still love you. I'm
sorry, you just gotta be mad. While I'm begging your wife, I need that little tear to fall or whatever. I don't know, but I just can't.
You're evil, bro.
I can't do the whole I'm helping take care of it. That I think it's almost a little disrespectful. Just like y'all talked about, like taking care of you, bathing you, or putting you to bed, and then I'm gonna go bang your wife. That's a little too close to home. I need to be the Tinder date on the side that you leave the house and you come see me. Like that I could kind of maybe do there. But as far as me, I'm all about assisted suicide at that point. I've told anybody if it's to the point where I can't bathe myself, I need help changing diapers, and I know I'm not going to get better, go ahead and take me out. I don't want to be like you said, Buff. I don't want to be that burden on anybody. I don't want to live my life like that anyway. So if it's to the point where I had that TBI and you guys know I'm not getting better and it's been 6 months, a year, and you've been dealing with it, and you're thinking, oh, you need to move on, and, I'm just a burden on your life, and I'm going to be like that for the next 10, 15 years, hands down, I don't know. I mean, wheel me down a mountain, whatever you got to do, figure it out. But I'm definitely, assisted suicide, make it quick, make it painless, but get me out of there so then you can go live your life. So, but yeah, I'm not about you moving on with me in the house and then new boo is helping take care of me and everything like that. I just we need a clean break. So that's all I had, man. It came across the feed and I was like, let me ask the brothers about this one.
Yeah, send that post a link.
All right,
we have time for one more.
Yeah, we have 53 minutes. We have 53, so yeah, we should be able to squeeze one in.
I think I was watching a video and I'm trying to figure out how to answer this. We're getting ready to go back to school and stuff like that. And as parents, we really want what's best for our kids, but we're not perfect. We all admit that. So what do you think, if you just being honest with yourself, what are the biggest, what are the biggest mistakes we make as parents when it comes to raising our kids? Personally.
I think this is personally, and I think, because we kind of talked about this a little bit last week. I think, but for me personally, I think it's trying to not necessarily do everything your parents did with you. Do everything that you learned. Like, this is the way we did it when I was a kid, so we're going to do it this way. Like, you got to really know your child and just try to figure out what works. And as we said last week, we're trying to be better at not doing the whole because I said so, whipping them without an explanation, things like that. I think getting out of old habits that we learned growing up is probably one of the biggest challenges and sometimes mistakes that we can make. And I think the goal that we all should strive for is to be better parents than our parents were. And that's in no way shade to our previous generation, but that is the goal, that you want to be better. I want Jasmine to be a better parent than Tabitha and I was, should she have kids. So I think that's the number one thing, is to not do things that we necessarily learned growing up.
Yeah, for me, I think it's, you can't parent in a cookie cutter fashion. Every child's different. So whereas you look at mine, Haley, Sophie, Ollie, right? Ollie is a super empath. He's super emotional. I got to coddle him a little bit more. I got to like give him that positive reinforcement of it's going to be all right. Go out there. He's timid. He's scared. So I got to push him and be like, hey, go do this thing. Go say hey to that person. Go introduce yourself. You know, like get him out of his introverted bubble. Sophie's an extrovert and she's a risk taker. Like she's all about adrenaline. She's like, I'm barely tall enough to get on this roller coaster, but let's do it right now. I want to do it. Like she's out there. And Haley is just like, thinks she knows everything about everything. And so you got to like bring her back in and just be like, hey, hold on, you know, slow down. Don't grow up too fast. So you have to parent each child very differently. And they develop differently. You can't look at, oh, this kid started reading at this age and this one's barely not doing it. This kid learned to ride their bike at this age. This one's not there yet. You know, it's very different for every child, and kids develop, especially when you're talking about young kids, between the ages of 6 and 12. There could be a kid that's 6 years old doing what another kid that's 12, and they're on the kind of the same developmental level. It just really depends. But usually it levels out around 16, 17. So it's one of those things that you have to be willing to be patient with your kids and understand where they are at that point and help them at that point instead of trying to push them to be just like the other kid or whatever. So you can't parent in a cookie cutter fashion whatsoever.
I mean, that's a really good one too. I think as parents, a lot of times we set like personal milestones for kids. Yep. You know, like they should be potty trained by 2 because Sophie was potty trained by 2 and Ollie's almost 3 and he's not potty trained. And it's like, there's no really, you know, by the time they get to, and I think the schools know, by the time they get to certain grades and stuff like that, I know a lot of these pre-Ks and stuff, like you have to be fully potty trained to go to this class or whatever. But in our mind, we set standards that just are standards we come up with from nowhere, you know, because your mama said no, you know, if he old enough to go in the corner and hide, he old enough to go to the bathroom. And so now all of a sudden we think exactly what, you know, the same thing. But those were really good ones. I have 2. The first one is forgetting what it was like to be a child at that age and what I experienced. And so, Razi, is similar to what you were saying, but to me, a lot of times it's emotional, you know, and I talk to people, you know, even when I was on my trip with my lamplighters, and a lot of people like, how are you so patient with them? It's like, what I try to do is I try to connect with them on the level, at the level they're at, right? I can't expect my incoming freshmen to be as mature as my seniors who are graduating. And so when I say this, you know, it's like, there's no excuse for you, Razi. But Buff, you know, like you are 8th grade going to 9th grade. Like there is a different level. But even just the day-to-day stuff. So we were going somewhere with Skylar. I think we just came from main event the other day, and we asked her a question. And I guess she's been out of school for so long, her math brain was off. And when she realized that she didn't know the answer, and then we kept like, come on, Sky, you know this. Like you could see like the anxiety kick in, in her mind, she was ready to break down because she knew she was supposed to know this. And the parents were, you know, on her and like, now we're disappointed at her in her mind. And it's like, how do we get here? But that's how she really is. Like at the age of 8, you want to be so perfect and so right for your parents that every little thing can be, you know, blown up. And me as 42, I'm kind of like, what's going on? What's going on is my 8-year-old daughter's dealing with, you know, disappointment the same way we deal with disappointment. You know, like, you know, some people hide, some people panic. And I had to take a step back. And that's what made me think about this question, was kind of like, I remember being that age, and in every age since then, where the thing that was going on, even in Haley's world, she thinks she knows everything. Yeah, she does. And she probably knows everything that, how old is Haley? 20?
21. She'll be 22 in October. Yeah.
21, yeah. Yeah. She knows everything a 21 is supposed to know. So she's smarter than the average 21-year-old. But, so why wouldn't she think she knows everything? She definitely can't know what a 42-year-old knows. But at 21, you don't know that you can't know what a 42-year-old knows. She's not even privy to that information yet. But that's a big one. It's just remembering to remember what it was like really the emotional, the dealing with school, the anxiety, all those things that, we were like, you're so lucky. That's the only thing you have to do is wake up and go to school and do this and do that. They can't really handle much more, and
one other that I wanted to bring up is parents forgetting what they were doing at that age, or remembering and trying to stop their kid from doing what they were doing, right? Like, you got to let the kid be the kid, right? So you were out in these streets smoking, drinking, whatever at 16, 17. Don't project that on your kid and be like, you can't go anywhere, because that's probably what you're going to do. Either let them do it and kind of get them through it, or, I mean, you got to trust them. You got to trust them that you raised them differently, right? Like, they're going to do it or not, but you can't just hold on to them and just not let them do anything because you were out in these streets wilding. So,
yeah, that's a good one. That projection is huge, because we said it. I think we open up. We want them to be better than us. So how do I make you better than us? Let me protect you from all these pitfalls that could potentially, you can't bounce back from, So if I can steer you away from drugs and, teenage pregnancy and all those things, like, I'm going to do everything I can. And a lot of times it's just eliminating the opportunity versus preparing them to make the right decision. Like I said, we've kind of talked about this, and I want to hone back in on it. I think crushing their dreams based on my perceptions of what their life should be. Like, I think as parents, we can really dictate or have this idea of what's proper and what the standard is and what they have to do. For some people, all their kids got to go to college, or you can't wear that. You can't dress like this. You can't talk like that. And it's, like you said, probably based off of some of our experiences where we've seen how this ends up. And so we're trying to protect them. But I think a lot of times parents are the people that crush kids' dreams. You're the person with them most. You're the person who's, telling them they can't do this or they can't do that. Give them opportunity. Let them figure it out. That's pretty much it. That's all I got. What else? Let's go ahead and close on out.
You know what's smart? Enjoying a fresh gourmet meal at home that you didn't have to cook. Meet Factor, your loophole in the laws of mealtime. Chef-crafted meals delivered with a tap, ready in just 2 minutes. You know what's even smarter? Treating yourself without cheating your goals. Factor is dietitian approved, chef prepared, and you plated. Pretty smart, huh? Refresh your routine and eat smart with Factor. Learn more at factormeals.com.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. From your morning podcast to your afternoon playlist, State Farm knows you personalize your entire day, and that's why State Farm helps you personalize your insurance with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. It offers coverage options that help protect what you care about most at an affordable price just for you. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
Only thing I got, man. Oh, go ahead, Bo.
Go ahead, Razi.
Oh, I was just gonna say, man, I got a chance to see Gran Turismo sneak peek this past Friday. It comes out this coming Thursday. But if you like racing or sports or anything like that, it's a great movie for you. If you like drama, if you like a coming of age story, if you like that, it's a great movie for you. If you like, a family oriented, like family story, kid, making their parents proud, everything, it's a great movie for you. It is pretty much everything that you would want in a movie. I think it's PG-13. I took the kids to see it. Ollie and Sophie, they really, really loved it. Sophie didn't even want to go. But she ended up wanting, really liking the movie as we watched it. And so that lets you know, like, all three of us really walked out of there, like, really enjoying the movie. So it's a really, really good movie for everybody. Anybody can find something in the movie and be like, okay, that was really a cool movie. So I highly recommend it. If you guys are looking for something to go watch, I recommend that over, a lot of the other movies that are out right now, including Spider-Verse and things like that. So now, if you have younger kids, go see Spider-Verse. That's top of the list. But anybody, 10, 11 up, go see Gran Turismo. It's a really, really good movie. I recommend it. 5 stars.
I just want to say we talked about Montgomery, so I don't need to add on that. So I'll just end it with, hey man, I just want to implore the media, don't be tempted to give our president favorable coverage on this Hunter Biden stuff just because we don't want 45 back in office. Do your job and report the facts. And I say that because it's starting to slowly, and I mean slowly, look similar to some of the stuff we saw with 45. Just, you look at how defensive the president has gotten over questions about it. It's become a problem that we thought would quickly go away, and it probably has been exaggerated by, Republicans or whatever. But, a judge denied that plea deal that he had, and now Merrick Garland has assigned a special counsel to investigate it. And, some of the excuses we get from the media is, hey, the president just loves his son. We get that. We do. But if any of this stuff is true and he was using his father's position as vice president at the time to get favorable deals in Ukraine and China, gotta report that. I know a lot of people don't want to see 45 back in office, but don't drop the ball like you have so many times, like with the Iraq war. Like, even with sports, I was looking at the Johnny Football documentary. Johnny Football and his friend just told the media, hey, his family got money. That's where he getting that money from. His family, is very wealthy. Nobody took the time to check. So Reggie Bush's Heisman got taken away from him. I'm just saying, you look at the stuff Johnny Football did, his probably should too, because he was signing autographs and getting paid for it. And the media didn't do their job. They didn't do their job with the Iraq war. There's a lot of times the media don't do their job. Do your job. Even if it's, what we don't want to hear. Do your job.
I feel you. But 2 things. I saw the post you sent, Razi. The way they worded it in a post, it's admirable.
Mm-hmm.
About the husband, they word as a wife still. Actually, I'll read it directly. Devoted wife continues to care for her husband after traumatic brain injury, and so does her new husband. I get it. I'm just not that guy. I'm not that good. And that's a whole nother conversation. She said for better or for worse, she decided to move on with her life, but she's still taking care of him. Like, I committed to taking care of you for better or for worse. We just can't be together as husband and wife, but that's admirable. Buff, your statement about doing that, I agree with you 98%. The 2%, my 2 cents is I think this always bites us in the ass. Trying to do what's right, trying to be the good guys, and politics isn't fair, because we know damn well, if the shoe was on the other foot, they would try to block it and hush it every chance they got. And all we'll do is be mad and realize that if the Dems did it, if this were the Dems, they would have did the right thing. We would have lost the election because of this or whatever the case may be. Are we putting are they putting their big boy pants on and saying, you know what, to beat a monster, you got to be a monster. Like the Republicans, they play this game way nicer than us. They don't care about the optics. They don't care about your feelings. They don't care about, you got to prove it and prove it really damn well. And even after you prove it, did you really prove it? So,
and I agree with your 2% politically, but the media shouldn't be political.
Okay. I can accept that. So, for me, just had a great week. Just got back from the city, the Windy City, Chi-Town. Great trip. Z and I went as our last hurrah before school starts. Thanks to all the friends and rattlers that showed up and showed out and showed us a great time. The city of Chicago is a great place. During the summer, the weather was perfect. I think the high might have been 86, 87 compared to Houston right now. It's probably 100 degrees. Feels like 110 easily. That's not fun. So I had a blast. For people kids are starting to go back to school, make sure you capture these back to school pictures. I'm seeing that's a good thing, send them off right, and you make sure that you're helping these kids off to a great school year. Be a little patient with them because it's definitely an adaptation to go back, especially coming off a 2.5 month summer. So best of luck to all your students, your loved ones. To the teachers, it's that time again. You'll get a couple of days off in a few weeks, so welcome back. Good luck. And with that being said, Three Brothers No Sense, your favorite barbershop style podcast. 6 Rules of Podcast. Listen, like, share, subscribe, comment, and most importantly, listen again.